Welcome to Extra Take. The title of this video probably doesn't make any sense to you at all. Hopefully that attracts people to this video, but who knows, maybe it'll have the opposite effect. The objective of this video is to try and understand perspective and how gazing out at the unknown can reveal so much data, so much information that we all of a sudden wonder if we really know anything at all. Easter Island is just about the most remote place in the world. It is tiny, absolutely tiny. You could walk across it and back easily in a day. It's located 3,500 kilometers from the coast of South America and over 2,000 kilometers from the next inhabited island. Incredibly, Easter Island had an indigenous population for around 600 years. This is astonishing for many reasons. The largest animals that lived on the island naturally were insects. Birds would visit, but you couldn't consider them permanent residents. People subsisted on some agriculture, but they were especially dependent upon the sea for protein and calories. But things that can't go on forever don't. As humans, we cheat the environment and extract more from it than is possible naturally. But that's a recipe for failure, especially in such a tiny niche ecosystem like Easter Island. The civilization basically collapsed around the year 1700. But before it collapsed, something else happened. They forgot what they had previously known. How did people get to Easter Island? Duh, by boat. The Polynesian navigators of the Pacific Ocean bore unthinkable risk, venturing out and settling small ocean islands in what were basically canoes. For reasons we will never know, the people of Easter Island abandoned their knowledge of boat building and navigation. They chose to stay, and leaving wasn't an option. The issue was compounded by the fact that they couldn't go look at the blueprints for boats. The culture had no written language. Information could only pass by oral tradition. And we know that oral tradition is a miserable way to try and preserve information. The original message quickly decays. Pieces are left out or added to the point where it's not even the same story or information anymore. Now this is hard, but try to imagine living on Easter Island in a time when the civilization was still successful, but after the point where everybody who lived on the island was born there. So were their parents, and their grandparents, and their great-grandparents. The entire world to you was this island, an island which you can see all of from its tallest hill. That was the only world anybody alive could remember. What must they have thought laid beyond the horizon? Did they have any reason to believe there existed any other people in the world? Was the whole world a sea, and this was the only land? They had no idea. They had an unbelievably narrow vision of what the world is. Imagine not knowing that redwood trees, elephants, blue whales, the Colosseum, Mount Fuji, or other people exist. How tragic that seems. Imagine if we could go back and show them a globe. We've all seen a globe, it's pretty unremarkable to us. But for most of human history, most people had no knowledge of the lands or species or people of other places. What an absolute shock it would be to show the Easter Islanders the planet they didn't know existed, yet they were on all along. Enter Edwin Hubble. Hubble was an American astronomer who worked at the Mount Wilson Observatory in LA. Hubble studied a patch in the sky known as the Andromeda Nebula. A nebula is a star nursery, a dense collection of stars and star-forming gases in space. Some of the Hubble telescope's greatest photographs are of these nebulae. Edwin Hubble had a telescope advanced enough to learn that the Andromeda Nebula was not what it appeared to be. It wasn't a large collection of stars a vast distance away. It was an unthinkable amount of stars, an unthinkable distance away. Andromeda was another galaxy, 2 million light years away, with 400 billion stars in it, just like the Milky Way. Then all of a sudden, we began finding galaxies everywhere. This photo is the deep field view, compiled by the modern Hubble telescope over a 10-year period. This picture only represents 1/32 millionth of the sky. Hold a dime at arm's length away, and FDR's eyeball is about how narrow the field of view in this picture is. But in this photo are 5,500 galaxies. Now you can try to comprehend this, but it's impossible. If it were possible, I feel as though one should faint or become ill. How can the universe be so vast? There are several hundred billion galaxies all around us. Each contains several hundred billion stars and even more planets. There are other living things in the universe. There just have to be. This is our Easter Island moment. We thought we knew what was out there. Only 100 years ago, it was viewed that the stars of the Milky Way represented the whole universe. But that's because those stars were all that we could see. It was our horizon. What is the next horizon that will disappear? What will we discover where there all of a sudden lies so much before us that we don't even know where to begin? Of course, the answer is nobody knows. But we will never find out if we stop looking. The naked pursuit of knowledge for its own sake will turn over many blank stones. But once in a while, you may turn over a stone and discover the entire universe. Thanks for watching.